How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? The radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. It is time for us to get some diamond chat in again. Our baseball guru, we'll call him, Olen Parker, affectionately known as OP. How you doing this week, my brother?
I'm doing good, my man. Doing good.
Well, very good. Look, the baseball season has started. We got some games under our belt. What I want us to discuss today is what are the key ingredients, at least from the OP angle, of building a program versus building a team?
Wow, that's huge. Well, I think there's a lot going on with that process to building a program. I mean, a team. I could call you up, Mike, Prince, with your knowledge, and say, "Hey, I got some 14-year-olds, 12 guys. I need you to coach this team." First of all, when you talk about building a college team, I think there's some key things that's very important. You must have the support of the athletic department. Speaking of the athletic department, meaning the compliance director, budget director, trainers, strength and conditioning coaches. I also feel it's very important to have a good rapport with other coaches in the athletic department. I mean, once you get in, it can be a key asset. You're getting familiar with how the day-to-day operations are handled. You should also surround yourself with a diversified group of coaches, meaning that the coaches that you hire have to have a special talent in a special area, and it has to be a certain reason why you hired that guy. I'd had to look for, does he have a track record of signing players that graduate? Does he have players that's been drafted? And also, does he have a network for recruiting? So those components right there will be the basis for starting a program.
Now, let me ask this, OP. What if you are not one who might be, quote unquote, connected? Would that disqualify an individual for possibly building a program, or would he just have to go a much longer and tried road?
It's going to be tough. Your recruiting is the backbone to having a good season. I'd say it'd be really tough, Mike, because I couldn't think about what will be a good situation if you don't have a network of guys to call on to get players.
Well, I guess you have to pick up that used car salesman. I always looked at recruiting as a salesperson because they have to go, you got to convince the kid, then you got to convince the kid's family that they should be a part of your program. And if you happen to be a program that has a history of struggling, it's a bit harder than in other cases. But you still have to be able, in my opinion, you have to sell yourself, you have to sell your program, and you have to sell your institution to these families.
Definitely, Mike. First of all, anybody can Google your name and see who you are and where you've been. Second of all, yeah, I think winning is important, but your institution is more important because kids are looking for a good education. And that's what most parents, when I was recruiting, the moms and dads are looking for education. Third, you look at your facility. You got some high school facilities that's outstanding in terms of the foundation of how it's built, how it's ran. And if you're not up to spec with those, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. But when I talk about recruiting, when I recruited, I wanted the same guys that Rice and Texas A&M wanted. So, I mean, I had to really have to sell my program myself to these families. Fortunately, I was able to get guys like Corey Jordan, who's from Bel Air, that everybody wanted, even Major League Scouts, or Chris Wolf. You know, guy ended up being a guy that was marginal, right down the line and frame. Turns out to be a draft choice. So when you're doing things like that, people can follow you and say, man, you know what? That guy wasn't a pro guy, but by the time he left his institution, he ended up being drafted.
Okay. We're talking right now with Olen Parker. We're talking baseball right now and building a program. Now, you've had some history. You've played in the minor league system. You've played collegiate, of course. You've coached in FBS and FCS ranking. Now, when it comes to actually getting players, I personally think on an FCS level, we not fortunate enough to get guys who were just one position player, i.e., if you're a pitcher or if you a first baseman. I think you have to have some type of versatility to kind of stretch your dollar and stretch your scheme and approach toward the game on an FCS level.
Well, I kind of look at it a little differently, Mike. You got to realize that even though you may be a swag school, you are a Division One school. That means you have the chance to go to Omaha just like any other school around you. So when you're recruiting, you better have a network of pro scouts. What does a pro scout do every day? You go out and see players. If you got a network of them, they'll tell you about a player that's not quite ready for pro ball, or kind of under the radar for the bigger schools, the Power 5 schools, that can eventually come and help you out.
Okay. Now, with that being said, going back toward that networking system that you need to have in place, from what I'm understanding you're saying. But hypothetically speaking, in most of our FCS planes, you made the mention of SWAC programs, but I'm thinking FCS on a whole. Out of the number of teams that are competing on that FCS level with the opportunity of going to Omaha, as you mentioned, wouldn't it be safe to say that maybe 45 as even high as 55% of those teams don't have those luxuries?
No, because a kid that's like take a scale from 60 to 90, a kid that's 75 or 80, he's going to be looking at the bigger schools. He's not going to cherish, going to your program like he would going to a Texas A&M. Now you take it the guy that's about a 70, he's on the borderline. Like I go back to recruiting. When I gave a kid a scholarship offer, I just didn't give him an offer so he can go shopping around to other schools. My offer had to stick like it was in Texas A&M. I just think that these kids today, they want to play D1 ball. And if you look at our SWAC MEAC schools, that's a chance of playing Division One. That's why you see so much diversity on the field these days.
Okay, now for those who are listening, you use the reference scale between 65 and 90. Go ahead and explain to our listeners how they come up with that number and what are some of the typical players that you would say I'll put the SWAC and the MEAC conference are dealing with compared to other programs that are around the country.
Okay, that just comes from my scouting background when I was a scout with the Mets and also with the Braves. We use the term 60-90. 60 being a low guy, that's a fringe guy, maybe could be drafted, maybe get as far as A-ball. A 90 is a guy that's going to get to the big leagues, definite surefire big leaguer. So when you're in that 75, 70 range, there's an opportunity. There is an opportunity. Even if you're 60, there's an opportunity. But a 70 guy, he's more interested. So you're looking at what slot he may fit in your organization as far as a AA, maybe a AAA player.
Okay, now how do you determine the number grade? Is it based on the 5 tools that we identify with baseball? And for those who are not aware, what that would be arm strength, speed, power, hitting ability, and defensive abilities.
Right, definitely. So your 90 guy is going to be a guy that's a 4 to 5 tool guy. If he's a pitcher, he's going to have 3 to 4 power pitches that he can use in any count. That makes him a 5-2 guy, 4 or 5-2 guy. As far as a hitter, if he hits for power, hits for average, defends well, runs well, you're going to be more of a 4 or 5 guy of those two. So even if you only have 1-2, you may be a runner. That's a 60 guy. He just can run but don't have a strong arm, decent defender. You're going to fall in that 60, 70 range.
Okay, now a lot of people might not be understanding the dynamics of baseball, especially on a much more competitive label. Normal cases, your right fielder usually has the strongest arm out of all of your outfielders. Would you say that's true?
That's a myth. I would say depending on your ballpark. All right, so you got some fields, right field, is shorter than left field. So you might want to put your strong arm in left. But in most cases, um, you would definitely want to put your right field in right field. I don't know why, but what I usually do is go and find me three center fielders and spread them around. And the one who has the strong arm, I put him in right field.
Okay, okay. You want guys that's gonna cover some territory.
Yeah, you still got to cover territory. I mean, they're not going to just throw the ball to you and say, hum it in there.
Yes, sir. Now we're talking again with OP. It's all right if I call you OP, right?
That's what everybody call me, Mike.
Okay, I just want to make sure, man. I didn't want to get no death threats or nothing. Hey, man, my name is Olen Parker, but no, I just want to make sure I had the clearance. Now, when we're talking about building this program, yet again, we once again, I have my little theory in life. Outfielders, in my opinion, are a dime a dozen. You can get an outfielder pretty much hanging out on the corner. Hey, man, you look like you can run a little bit and got some athleticism. I can work with you. But the heart of a team is what I call that diamond within the diamond. Your center fielder, shortstop, second baseman, and your catcher. What do you look for when you're looking to build your program in those categories?
That's exactly right, Mike. You got to be strong up the middle. Um, today's time, you're seeing a lot of teams, they're going out and they're taking shortstops and moving them around. Shortstop's going to be a guy with a good arm that can play center field, that can play catcher, can play second base also for you. And that's the dynamics of starting a good team because you got to be solid up the middle. Your corner guys are going to be guys that's going to drive and runs for you. They're not going to be as polished as a defender. They're just going to be a guy that's just going to hold it down and make plays.
Now, see, I'm gonna agree to disagree with you on that one there on the corners, because being a former catcher, first baseman, I took a catcher's mentality to first base, and I took pride in blocking balls, whether I had the gear on or not. And the key to having a strong third baseman, first baseman, and catcher are soft hands. And when I talk about soft hands, it's the ability to receive the ball as it's coming to you, to cushion whatever needs to be cushioned, and the art of framing. So we gonna have a tug of war on that one, brother. I got to defend those corners and the catches.
Well, you only kind of defended the first baseman, and the only reason why I say you defended that guy because you guys are using mitts and first baseman gloves. I like to see a first baseman go behind the mound behind the plate and play catcher. That's not going to happen. But you're right, Mike. You will see a catcher go and play first base because they're used to fielding the ball.
Okay, so I think I play a little third, but I play more first. But I'll let you win that round on that one. We're talking with OP right now, and we got to address the pitching. That's another part of that diamond within the diamond, because in between the catcher, center fielder, shortstop, and second, you got a guy on that bump. We know that pitching changes everything. But once again, the Mike Theory 101, I would rather have a guy who knows how to pitch than a guy who simply throws hard.
Well, now, Mike, you're talking Atlanta Braves baseball. All right?
Okay.
You're exactly right. You'd rather have a guy that can pitch. I remember I was recruiting a guy named Richard Batista. He was short in stature, about 5'7", 5'8", but he had four pitchers that worked. Also, I recruited Corey Jordan, 6'5", throw 90, 92. He throws, but he only had 2+ pitchers. Batista probably in his career had won more games than Corey Jordan. Needless to say, both of them were pretty good, but to support your theory, I would rather have a guy that can pitch than a guy that throws hard.
Okay. Now, we know that all teams in theory, when we talk about collegiate ball, are created equal. When I say that, 11.7 scholarships available. But we know all budgets are not created the same. We're going to play.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you some house money right now. You're on
Okay.
a FCS level, okay,
Okay.
but you have the opportunity of competing for Omaha. How
Okay.
do you build your program?
Like you said, start off on the mound. Guys who pitch are guys that are going to win games for you. So, in constructing with 11.7, I would spend 75% to 50% on guys on the mound, depending on their ability to pitch. Also, my middle infielders, I would spend about 50 to 60% on them. All right. Also, I would definitely use the academic situation upon us. I would go out and find academic guys that you can give 25% to construct those 25 guys on scholarship to build my 11.7.
Man, that's a. Is that how they do it on the Power Fives?
I can't reveal my secrets.
Okay, I'll respect that. And speaking of respect, we're coming toward the end of this segment. We've been talking, building a program with Coach O.P. Olen Parker. Coach, let us know how we can get in contact with you, how someone can join your team, even get some of your services for getting people ready for the next level.
All right. My cell number is 318-436-9688. I can be reached by email at olenparker65@yahoo.com. Also have coaching and recruiting at yahoo.com. If you'd like to talk to me, just give me a holler.
Okay, at Yahoo, man, you the second, third person this week I've been dealing with got these Yahoo email accounts, man. You got to get with the time and get you a Google account, brother.
Oh, Jesus. Some things don't change, Mike. Some work and don't break it.
I do understand. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Well, brother, we truly appreciate you, man. Let's make sure that we get us some baseball in. We'll come back. Lord, say the same next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about baseball, the sport we have grown to love, and in all fairness, has loved us back. I am the radio guy, the Dr. Mike Prince. Of course, my social media handle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. And our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.